England's national poet has long been a global icon, and so the world celebrates today William Shakespeare's unofficial birthday. 450 years after his birth, with 38 plays and 154 sonnets under his belt. Here's Shachar Peled's report on the ongoing celebrations.
How do you wish a happy 450th birthday to the world's greatest dramatist? With tributes all across the globe, starting with The Globe, William Shakespeare's immortal theatre in London, which opened its doors to the public to celebrate the life and times of its famous poet and playwright.
He's the best, he's like the standard. I don't even know where you begin with Shakespeare in British theatre, but you know, it all stems from Shakespeare.
With the reenactment of his plays and activities designed to attract young children to his works, Shakespeare's home theatre celebrated the birth of the man regarded as the greatest writer in the English language. But his exact date of birth in the town of Stratford-upon-Avon remains unknown and is traditionally observed on April 23rd, also the date of his death. Like so much of Shakespeare's life, his birthday remains mysterious, open to interpretation as well as celebration. By the age of his death at 52, both his tragedies, including Hamlet, Othello and King Lear, and his comedies such as A Midsummer Night's Dream and Twelfth Night, were deemed some of the finest works in the English language.
For me, Shakespeare's always been quite inspiring because I love writing myself, so Shakespeare's always been someone I've greatly admired.
In addition to the Globe Theatre's birthday party, celebrations took place in the Folger Shakespeare Library in Washington, D.C., in a special week-long conference in Paris named Shakespeare 450, and in the Shakespeare Schools Festival, which has been helping school children stage Shakespeare's plays throughout England all year. Now that all the world is his stage, the explosion of tributes and performances are only prologue to the wall-to-wall program of celebrations and productions planned for 2016, which will mark 400 years to his death. Like great wine, the hundreds of years gone by seem only to increase this global icon's stature, to become the golden standard of our cultural times.
And from Shachar Peled in Britain to Shachar Peled in Hollywood, she's right here for her segment Off Screen. Yay!
Hi, Odette.
Tales from Hollywood.
Yes. Okay. So, question of the day: has Johnny Depp lost his box office mojo? Because it seems so. His latest film, Transcendence, was released this week with quite a sad opening. Only 4th place in the box office and less than $11 million in earnings. It's the lowest ever for a big-budget Johnny Depp
film. And not great reviews either.
And not great reviews either. Very, very sad. So allow me to open with a quote from the Los Angeles Times, saying it's the sight of Johnny Depp in yet another domestic disappointment. Since overperforming in Alice in Wonderland, Depp has been involved in seemingly one misstep after another. Now, what's saddest about this quote is it's from 2012. It's following...
and it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. It's following the surprisingly disappointing Dark Shadows, the collaboration between Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, which is usually fruitful.
And I have to admit that I like that
No,
film.
but critics hated it, and it wasn't even the beginning. It followed the awful film The Tourist and another bad film, The Rom Diaries. So it wasn't the beginning, but it also wasn't the end. As we remember, 2013's biggest flop ever was The Lone Ranger.
Of course, that wasn't pretty.
That wasn't pretty. Costs exceeding $200 million for Disney and earnings in the domestic box office of less than $90 million.
So is that it?
So I don't think this is it. Although what we said so far for Johnny Depp, because although America has fallen out of love with him, the international box office loves him, and The Lone Ranger is a great example because it earned $170 million worldwide, so it sort of balanced it. And Transcendence is another example because it had the same release date in China and the US, and in China it brought in slightly more Chinese.
At the end, the Chinese will save everyone,
and not to worry
Johnny
for Depp, he still has a lot of projects coming up in this year and in 2016. Time will tell.
I'm not going to cry for Johnny Depp just yet.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Shachar.
Thank you.
Thank you at home for joining us as well. Be sure to join us again tomorrow and next week. Bye-bye.